welcome. You are watching the FNO show. Now the next 30 minutes will take you through all the action in the FNO markets and trading strategies, and also take up all your queries that you have. And we have with us Ajit, Mishra and Jatin Gedia now with their top trading ideas. Ajit, the Nifty seems to be struggling around 25,000. We've seen it for most part of this week. Forget about Wednesday's high that we did a U-turn from, but last 2 days have not been too great. On the index at 25,000 or sub 25,000, would you be brave enough to initiate a fresh long?
Yeah, good morning, Samina. So, Samina, till yesterday there was a bit of an indication that in the last three trading sessions, Nifty was somehow trying to form a base for some recovery. Means we were forming lower highs, higher lows, and but today again, we have breached that pattern. So it seems like that bulls are still not in control, and until we reclaim the short-term averages decisively, so 20 EMA to be precise, which is placed around 25,300, 320 area, I doubt that we can have a meaningful up move. So considering that, because yesterday it was a very strong day for the banking index, still we couldn't make a decisive move in the Nifty. And with the beginning of the earnings season now, obviously there is going to be more of lackluster session based on the earning announcement. So keeping all in mind, I feel that the bias is still on the negative side. So if somebody has to carry any position, I would rather prefer carrying 24,900 foot, for positional longs, which is currently quoting at 112, and for the positional target of around 200, 220 in the near future, with stop at 70. So my bias is slightly on the negative side, despite the recent pause in the markets.
That's as far as Ajit's view is concerned on the Nifty. Jatin, unwinding in open interest. So we have the likes of something like Federal Bank and Eicher Motors seeing about a short covering. TCS, on the other hand, is looking at long unwinding at the moment. It does seem like the street was working with a better margins number, but it's looking at like a little bit of a disappointment, but we're not seeing such a deep cut either. And MGL is also among those which are seeing longs unwind. But let's talk about stocks which are on the radar of our experts. Ajit, coming back to you on stocks that look good to you.
Right, Agam, though we are not seeing any meaningful recovery in the index, but if you see on the sectoral front, IT, pharma, metals, they are still holding strong since last couple of weeks, and we feel that pharma is something that one can continue to look at. And among the pharma names, Glenmark Pharma is what we like. The stock was trading in a consolidation range for almost 1.5 months, and now we have a clear-cut breakout. The stock is already at the record high, so we expect this momentum to continue. And 1870 is what we are eyeing in the near future. So with stop at 1758, one can go long in Glenmark. And from the metal space, Hindalco is something that one can look at for fresh longs. During this recent dip in the metal space also, Hindalco did participate much, and again we are seeing a strong recovery. The stock again here also is trading closer to the record high. So here we expect next leg of the up move closer to around 775 to 780 area. So with stop at 732, one can go long in Hindalco as well.
Well, Jatin, you have a constructive call on metals too. You want to take our viewers? Called by Jatin Gedia. Ajit, of course, also likes Glenmark, which already is seeing a 2% up move in trade today, and he's got a buy call on Hindalco. Well, it's time now to go over to our queries. We have the first query from Shreya Chauhan, who writes in from Surat. Shreya owns PVR Inox calls of 1640 at 45. Ajit, I'll start with you. What is the word coming in PVR Inox? What do you recommend Shreya should do with those calls at 1640 that she owns?
So yes, Zamina, in fact, the stock has recovered strongly after this recent retracement towards the moving averages ribbon, and today it's trying to reclaim the short-term average too. So it looks like there's a possibility that we might see the stock inching toward 1675 to 1680 area in the near future. But since we are in entering into the next half of the expiry, so one should be slightly cautious that in case if it consolidates for more than a day or two, then she may consider exiting this call because it's still out of the money. And at the same time, 1605 is something on the spot basis should maintain as a stop loss. So on the target side, 1675 to 1680 is something that she can book the profit in the 1640 call.
Okay. Well, we move on to the next question.
It's the stock of the day. It's TCS that we're talking about. Kumar holds the 4,300 calls of TCS at 45. Let's quickly take a check of what the 4,300 call is trading at the moment for TCS. And it's, of course, much lower. 37 odd is what it trades at, so it's out of the money for now. Ajit, what do you recommend? Should he run this position or do you recommend he should take some of the losses off the table and wrap it up?
Samina, I would recommend to exit because the suspense is behind us now. The result is clear, and the market reaction is also very clear that after the initial attempt of recovery, again we are seeing some profit taking emerging. So it's likely to remain in the range 4150 to 4250, something that the stock might continue to hover in. So at least for a time being now, he should exit, and for fresh entry, he should wait for the stock to cross or close above 4250 mark decisively. Then only you should look for fresh longs in TCS, otherwise avoid.
All right, and well, of course, we move on to the final query that we have. We're going to keep an eye on some of those names as well. But let's move on and perhaps conclude this side of the futures and options space. Of course, the polycap currently at around 7,500. But let's also take a look at the markets. At the moment. Well, but on that note, it's we're completely out of time on this edition of the FNO show, but lots more lined up on the other side. The small and mid-cap show comes up next. Stay tuned in.